Okay, my name is Ann, and I'm a retired registered nurse, and I spent my last 10 years,
I'm just going to put that right in front of your mouth. There we
10 years in long-term care. Once I started working in long-term care, I had a number of concerns. Lack of unit supervision was a big deal with me anyways. The lack of teamwork between the nursing attendants and the registered nurses. And of course, there was the deal with the dishonesty with management staff. We had a number of issues on our ward. The biggest few were medication errors, false documentation, and pertinent information entered into the patient file. Now, when a patient is injured or when there's a medication error, an incident report must be completed because the patient file is a legal document. So how can these files be used in a court of law? Perhaps the gentleman answered that question. We had other problems, fractures. Nobody reported an injury until a couple of days later. Bruising, skin tears, ulcerated areas, excoriated perineums, and theft. Patients have known to miss a meal because staff failed to take them to the dining room. Patients are tied on a toilet and then forgotten for half an hour, or more. How many of us would like to sit on a toilet for an hour? Night staff failed to make rounds and check patients for wetness. But according to the staff, management states that we're wasting too much in content products. If management, where I worked, can afford a $30 Christmas gift for every patient and put on a big Christmas dinner for patients, staff, patients' family, and anybody that wanted to come from the community, that's a lot of money. If they can do that, they can purchase enough incontinent products for our patients. Now, I was kind of a sore spot in their side. I met with United Nurses of Alberta and the Alberta Association of Registered Nurses. They didn't like me very much. But then I didn't care because I crossed the picket line every time they went on strike. So I shouldn't have expected much from them. I also contacted the Health Facilities Review Committee. It's not their job. I contacted 4 health ministers who did absolutely nothing. We went to meet with the president of Long-Term Care Association. She couldn't answer our questions. Who are these people? I don't know. Then finally, I met the CEO of our health region. Yes, and he agreed to meet with 5 or 6 staff members. And surprise, surprise, somebody from the facility canceled any possible meetings with this gentleman. Yes. The director of nursing and an administrator, even when they knew there was abuse, didn't stop the abuse from going on. Now, there is a law against staff abusing patients. They can be fined. They can also receive jail time. None of our patients got any of that, never even heard about it. Oh, government. Well, what can I say? It's complete failure with the government. They failed to protect our patients and to provide the care that they rightfully deserve from these cruel hands. But then there's outspoken people like myself who they'd sure like to get rid of. It was disheartening to see how many of our patients were neglected. But then, as one health minister wrote to me and stated, all patients receive minimal care. But I wanted to know, so how much is minimal care? Well, she couldn't quite answer that question. So the thing that I'd like to see is cuts at the long-term care. Not with staff. We need more staff for sure. We need cuts to management people. In a small facility like I worked at, we don't need 4 or 5 people in administration. And then they have all these days off. You never know when they're in or not. So the cuts need to be there. And ladies and gentlemen, it's up to us to start speaking out on behalf of our loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you.